It's Miriam here again with the new, I guess, series or sessions. Who knows? This is just an experiment, but hey, we're having fun for the Bouldrick reality. So again, for those who are new to the show, my name is Miriam Hubbard. I am the owner of the Bouldrick reality, non-alcoholic subscription box of cocktail ingredients. And I have with me today Ms. Domonique Bouldrick, who's going to share with us a bit more about what she's working on. Her, if you see behind her, her new logo, Bouldrick Creative House, and she's going to share a bit more about what she does. So a little background in terms of why I'm doing this show or this series, and basically it's all about allowing my friends and people who have inspired me or helped me along the way to give them a chance to shine and to share with what they're doing in the world as well. Because it's not just about me, right? Yes, it's my little platform, but it's really about, hey, I have people in my life who have helped me along the way or have inspired me. And for those who don't know, Domonique, I call you my muse, my creative kindred spirit, because we have shared a lot in terms of just our communications back and forth about little things that we've done in the past, design, architecture background, photography. So awesome stuff. So I will not tarry any longer. This is now your time to share all about Domonique Bouldrick and the Bouldrick Creative House. The floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I am Domonique Bouldrick, as Miriam introduced, and I am the owner, artist, curator, if you will, of Bouldrick Creative House, which is a company that I somewhat rebranded. It started in 2017 as a woodworking business only, Cut Couture Woodworks, and that was my first dip into entrepreneurship in a woodworking fashion. I guess to give a little bit of a backstory, I started woodworking in 2012. I wanted to build a bar. I wanted a bar in my house, and all the options that I looked at were too expensive. And I found some plans on Pinterest, and I bought a saw and a nail gun from Harbor Freight, and literally it took over my life. So I did build that bar. I built it a little bit too big, and it is actually stuck in my prior home. So the person I sold my house to got a very nice bar with it because we couldn't get it through the front door. So back to the business. It started as Cut Couture Woodworks, where I used to just do cutting from a bookshelf and a bar for a friend to even like a game spinner for one of my friends that owns Unforgettables. She makes cakes, amazing cakes. Check her out. But I started to get some inspiration during some of the free time that we had during 2020, this like whole quarantine. And I wanted to rebrand so that I could incorporate my artistic vision across multiple mediums. So hence the Creative House. As you spoke, Miriam, I love photography too. Just getting comfortable with sharing that. If you follow my Just Dom page, you should see I am passionate about cars and car photography, and I've recently started shooting film. All of that is also on my website, Bouldrick Creative House, where I sell prints in addition to building the frame for those prints. So it is truly a work of art from me, from the vision through to what you would have on your wall. And then the other side of it is the woodworking side or the maker side of things. Most recently, I've been working on some cheese boards and epoxy coasters that will be launching on my website tomorrow at 6 p.m. There's several different kinds of coasters, all kinds of colors, just a bunch of different things that I was able to put together with stuff I had in the shop. And that is sort of it in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, there's so much more, and so I'm going to touch on a few things. So I'm going to bring up some things that we talked about. So remember the time when we started actually like our little back and forth online? Because we met, maybe 2.5 years ago, maybe a year and a half, maybe or so.
Something like that. Yep.
Facebook group, and then realizing during 2020 when we started talking, seeing what each other was working on Instagram, we was like, wait, you do that? Wait, I do this. hold on, you got I should have brought them upstairs, but your film holders. And so I was like, wait, I have some too. I haven't used them forever. So we just started sharing more about our passions, our backgrounds. And I want you to kind of touch on, especially from your schooling and what the school that you went to, which I think is fascinating, is the design and architecture design school down in Florida. For those who don't know, I actually went to graduate school for architecture for about 2 quarters, and I was like, I'm broke, I need to go get a job. It's kind of the financial industry, but it's still a passion of mine to still create and do creative things. And in undergrad, of course, there was a photography piece. And so it's kind of like, with Domonique, I have someone who shares similar passions. I mean, we're able to talk about specific architects.
Yeah, that was mind blowing. Like, I've never mentioned I am paid to somebody else, let alone another woman of color that knew who I was talking about.
Yeah, I think I almost cried because I was like, wait a minute. I've been talking to you.
We had a special moment.
Yeah. So tell us about that, because that's what's fascinating to me. And then for those who may have been in my shoes or have had thoughts of moving or being more creative, but have also felt like they could not, either because of family considerations or, I don't want to say rejection, but just kind of like, hey, you need to go in this direction. This makes more sense than going in the creative direction, and how that has impacted your life.
I would say so. For those that don't know, I grew up in Miami, Florida, and the high school she's referring to is Design and Architecture Senior High. How I got there, honestly, I think it was a middle school book fair, and I bought one of those books that was like drawing by numbers, and I like got the sketch pad and like all this stuff, and I started following along, and I started to really like it. So I went from drawing that stuff to freehanding things. And then my grandmother was an educator for 36 years in Miami. And so she found out about a magnet program because I did have the interest in like architecture and motorcycles. So that was an opportunity to get early exposure. So I put together a portfolio and audition, and I got into the school. And we kind of sort of picked a major, I guess you could say. There was graphic design, fashion design, industrial design, architecture, and I'm probably forgetting one, but those were the different options. And it was really a transformational experience because we got industry experience in addition to high school. I was in class forever from like 7:30 to 3:30 because we had a whole nother set of curriculum on top of the normal high school curriculum, but it was worth it. It was worth it.
Yeah. And I just think that's amazing actually at that age, because a lot of times, and I moved 3 times during my high school years. And I think that's a really important time where you form your niche, or kind of like your formative years, where you start making decisions. And so my decisions would have to change in accordance to what my requirements were for each school district, right? But along those same lines, I think your experience, which I wish was available across all school districts, right? In terms of having that opportunity to really dabble in and not just read about, or have someone come and speak to you for like 30 minutes with Q&A and then leave. I think that's really important. And then I want to share with everyone else. So if you go to her page, her Instagram pages, where she shares her shop in her home and her working, I have to tell you that over the years, with things I've gone through, with leaving graduate school to working and being the only Black person, and then, well, it was 2 of us in my class, and then she ended up leaving after the first quarter, and then being the only one, seeing Black hands cutting and working with wood, resin. I have a Pinterest page filled with resin pours with no Black people in them. Domonique is that representation, and I just love that. And so I just hope that other people get a chance to really see you do your work, get to actually bring your work into their homes, and to be able to share with their little girls and boys about, hey, you can do this too. Because I tell you, not everyone has that. You know what I mean? Like, not everyone. Yeah, so I hope through this, and then through your business flourishing, that more people get to see that, hey, I can do that too. I do have a desire to go in this direction, and I'm capable, I'm able to do it. So I just think that's awesome. So tell us a bit, because you mentioned that you initially, did you say rebrand or started in 2017 and rebranded last year? So
I
what?
rebranded last year and because it was Cut Couture Woodworks. I felt like the name in itself was kind of pigeonholing me into a
Yes.
corner. And then I wanted to take the spin on it from an artistic standpoint versus taking custom orders, because that to me somewhat becomes me executing your vision, and my vision never may manifest, or only in this small time I have time to do it outside of custom orders. So
Right.
I am taking the risk to doing it the back way, but I think if you like my work, you'll enjoy the pieces I create, and then it allows me to maintain creative control to stretch my skill set the way I want to.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why I kept telling her, when am I going to get it coaster? When are they going to be coming up? Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, 6 p.m. BouldrickCreativeHouse.com.
And there's this large piece of artwork. I don't think I told you. So I'm in the process of purchasing. If you saw the image on my Instagram of Stacy Abrams, that artist has some other artwork, and so I'm getting a piece from him that's rather large, and so I want you to frame it.
Oh, I would love that. I am working on bringing it to my website soon, where I can frame artwork for other people at selections. I'm going to be adding that as well.
Yep. And then whenever I start adding to actually my photography work, she'll be my person I go to as well.
Yeah, and
you didn't mention your dining room table, but before you do that, I guess you were about to say something else.
I was going to say I am going to do a video on how to develop film, like a better one, because I think we need some representation there too.
Yeah. And you're braver than me, because I remember you were developing at home, and I've always known to do that, but I've always chosen to go into, and luckily here in Atlanta, there is a place, the photographer studio in Buckhead, where I would go, but I don't go as often because it's far. But even before that, when I left school, that's what kept me from developing my own work. So I'm like, I don't want to do it at home, or I'm afraid to do it, or like.
There's this hallway. I have a hallway bathroom that is completely shut off, and there's like a little bit of light under the door. But if I block it with the rug, it's as good as any dark room that I could have access to. But they make those bags too that you can put your hands in, and they create a dark space. Too. But yeah,
so I think what my problem is, I do deal, like, I know I'm funny sometimes, but I do have serious anxiety.
Like, oh, listen, that's a whole different conversation.
Yes, but I've done a lot of work. Like, the fact that we are in front of the camera right now, right? Like, this is like, whoa, because I would rather be behind the camera, not in front of it. But I know that at some point you got to get out of your comfort zone. So
yes, we are here.
Yeah. So we had a conversation. I saw this video about Miami-Dade County and how it was disrespectful. But you said it in Miami, Florida. But it was disrespectful to say in Florida. Tell us about Miami.
It was, the comment he said was, he's from Miami, he's not from Florida. And so he said that Miami-Dade County is a city of its own, because for the same reason that I posted that photo of a house with chairs attached to the siding and painted red. And everyone does what they want in Miami. It's just a melting pot of people and cultures and good food. And you're making me miss it now, and great weather. It's just different. And as you start to drive up the turnpike, it changes. It's just different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it though.
Yeah. But yeah, and then you mentioned some of the things you've created, but you didn't mention your dining room table. And I think that was the first piece that I saw.
Yeah. So I definitely bit off more than I could chew. My shop was not in the shape that it's in right now. We literally had one of those like stilt things as the table that we were using, but I needed a dining room table because we were having Christmas dinner, and I said I was going to build it because I wanted a 10-seater, and the space only allows for what would be an 8-seater. So I wanted it to be 2 wide by 3 long. I had no idea how much epoxy it was going to take because it was 1.5 inches thick. So that was crazy. And then to get it out the mold, took my husband and 2 of his friends to move it. It weighs like 300 pounds. It's nuts.
Right.
But it is in the house and it works. It has a slight warp. Lesson learned. I should have put a metal brace underneath it to keep it from Mother Nature. She does what she wants.
What if you use like reclaimed wood or repurposed or like super old? Like, was this relatively like new boards that you had purchased or new?
The slabs were from a lumber yard I go to called Peach State Lumber. They kiln dry their wood, if I'm not mistaken. So it was ready to use, but they do make meters where you can check the humidity of the wood, because it's damp and not completely dry. It is going to really mess up some stuff once it starts to dry, and you don't want to work with it in that condition. So I learned a lot of lessons building that table, and woodworking to me is cumulative. Like, I know that was my first project, and a lot of people are like, oh, make me a table, but there's still so much to learn. So, and I want to make sure that when I make something for someone, that it's like it stays in their family, that it can be passed down, and you're not calling me a month later like, why is my table doing the wobble? So
So almost like I bought my grandfather's pianos over here, and it's a Kimball. And so what I gather you're saying is, passing it down generation to generation, you're gonna have some drawing. I know you created some golden, I guess, emblems with your brand.
Badge. Yep.
Yeah. I'm assuming you're gonna do some more so that it lasts forever, so that when people pass it down from generation to generation, they'll see, oh, that came from the Creative Bouldrick.
Yes. I have some really good ideas for the bigger pieces. They're coming.
Like the etching, like like in pianos, like when you open it up, it has like all the different emblems, or I guess
like that embossed. That's what I would love that.
Okay.
We're here.
Listen, I'm already getting booped. Yeah, I'm getting emotional. Well, yeah, I'm good. I'm okay. We're gonna make it. All right. But yes, so I'm really excited about that. Is there anything else you would like to share, especially about tomorrow? Just kind of like messages you want to share with the Bitter Reality followers?
So everything's gonna go live at 6. If I'm not mistaken, I have a total of 31 pieces across, varying between cheese boards and coasters. They are all one of one, so that is unique. There are no 2 sets alike. Some are similar in color, but everything is pretty much, you will have the only one. And I'm going to create a sign up so that if you want to follow and keep track of what I have coming out and when, so you don't have to like watch social media. You can stay out on the lookout for that and find out on my website.
Like an email list?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice. All right. Rapid fire, rapid shoot. Are they called, what are they, iguanas?
Oh gosh, those things. Yes, people eat them in Miami, and that is, yes, it's disgusting. I've never seen it. I've never eaten it. I don't want anything to do with it. But they're huge down there.
Okay, so how many iguanas have fallen on your head in a lifetime?
0.
Oh. I have another friend. Actually, she is from Miami as well. And she mentioned like how they used to fall out of trees. Is that a thing?
Not what? No, my grandma don't play that.
There's ways to keep them out of the yard.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. So let's go to design. So outside of wood and resin, what is your favorite material to work with and why?
Ooh. I love walnut, and I have aspirations for metal. I would say metal is my favorite, but I don't know how to work with it just yet. I have a welder that I need to learn how to use, but once I teach myself how to do that, that'll be.
So I have how to make jewelry books. and I have resin, jewelry resin stuff downstairs, but this is my focus right now, but that's the other section of my office. So once this is like really where it needs to be, then that's the next project.
I like resin, but in spells because it makes a mess. Like right now, it is all over everything in my shop. Like I could literally have to clean up before I could do anything else.
Yeah.
Because there's just resin everywhere.
Yeah. And
So
that's
it's like
the crazy thing. Like even like being in the kitchen, like, yes, okay, you cook on a regular basis, or maybe, or at least you go in and use the microwave. But if you really want to cook every day, you're making a mess as you're doing it. So sometimes for me, it's like, let me just put down my to-do list and my step by step what I need to do, because I'll get anxious because I don't want to mess up. I don't want to waste food. I don't want to have to redo this if it's going to take 12 hours to cure or something. You know what I mean? But I think even that mess, though, a lot of things come out that are actually awesome. So I guess to say, I feel you on that, but I feel like there's like beauty in the mess.
yes,
I don't know.
yes, there has to be chaos.
We can't, that's it, beauty in the chaos. And I've had to learn not to be afraid of that, and to just
I
keep
definitely have had to learn that because in the middle of my creative sprints, oh man, the house just goes down. Stuff everywhere.
right here and not over there where I shoot. Yeah, just
Yep. You just gotta hide it.
basically. Well, it's not really hidden, but it's hidden from the camera.
Yep, that's it.
Because if you walk up the stairs, like, wow, Marion, hello, like, I know.
Yes,
I know. I am Pei. We talked about him. Any modern architect that you are interested in or following today, and why?
No, I stopped following architecture today. I more so like woodworkers. Jory Brigham is one that I really like. I took his course maybe, I think it was like 3 years ago now. It was in Paso Robles, and we built a end table. I actually probably gonna share it for a flashback Thursday because I took some pictures of it last night finally after 3 years.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna share that. But that course was awesome because it helped me understand how to take an idea and bring it to life versus like before when I was just following someone else's plans at Pinterest. So that's where I would like to go. I would like to aspire to move towards fine woodworking more so than the DIY stuff.
Nice. So I think it was one question I forgot to ask earlier. Between high school and 2017, what was your focus? What were you focused on then that then brought you back into woodworking?
Oh man. When I graduated from high school, I think I ran as far as I could in the opposite direction from art.
Why? I want to touch on that right there. Why? What happened?
Because I think as I was graduating, there was this notion of like being a starving artist, and it didn't align. Then you're like, no, you go to college and do all this American dream stuff. So I went towards STEM because that's what you do. So I got my degree in engineering, still thinking that I was staying close to kind of my heart where liking to work with my hands, which I kind of still stayed in. I worked for Gatorade for 5 years in the manufacturing plant. So it still was very hands-on in a way that I liked to work, but it wasn't creating for sure. So that I think it came back into my life as an outlet from work, something else to do with my time. And then it felt good because I didn't have to pay people to do all this stuff.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So I guess for me, David Adjaye, a little bit closer now than I did in the past. He's always been a part of my list, but like my favorites are the ones that have passed and gone, like Louis Kahn, right? Peter Zumthor is still alive though. If you ever look up his work, he was a craft. He's more so he doesn't consider himself an architect, and I don't think he received any real schooling, but he's more of a craftsman. So if you look up, I think we talked about this, the baths in Switzerland. That's him.
Yes, we did. I wish I would have known about that before I went, so we could have gone to see it because I don't think I did.
Yeah, so that's the trip.
That's also fun fact. Me and my husband are avid snowboarders. We've been snowboarding for 8 or 9 years. We go on a trip at least once a year. We've been out of the country twice. Whistler and what's Austria.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that was fun. And Davos.
Nice.
Those are our latest trips.
Yes. Yeah, so I think I sent you because you snowboard, but you also skateboard, right?
I'm trying. it's the big kid in me that
the same, but
it's around. Snowboard is easier.
Snowboarding is easier. Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt as much if you fall. But I don't fall as much anymore in snowboarding.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I remember I saw this the guy who works with resin, but he does more like he's built guitars. And he had this skateboard. I think I sent to you. I was like,
I would like to build one of those. It's on my list.
Yeah. Let's see, one more question. Talk to me. Your grandmother seems fascinating. You mentioned she was an educator for 36 years.
Yes.
Tell me more about how she kind of inspired you, or at least something you want to share about her. Because I guess I'm asking this because, like I mentioned before, my grandfather, I have a real, I don't know what the word is for this, but I value my ancestors. I value my elders. All my grandparents are gone. So whenever I hear someone talking about their grandparent, I'm thinking, oh man, it's awesome. You know what I mean? So share something that you really want to tell people about your grandmother, or something that really that strikes you really in your heart when you think about your grandmother.
I would say for her to always be able to support whatever it was that I wanted to do, because I had some crazy ideas as a kid. Like I was a weird kid. To not know and still be supportive, to want to take me to these little skate parks that she has no idea what I'm going to do, if I'm going to hurt myself, or just I guess I realized it this past weekend that I come from a family of creatives. My mom used to do nails before nails was even popular. Like we're talking way back in the 80s, doing designs and stuff like that. And my grandma's always been sewer, crafty, like in the yard. So I think it always was kind of supported in my family because we all are little tinkerers and things like that. So having that or talking about it and them being able to understand without understanding and just support has always been beneficial.
Nice. And last thing, what's a quote that you live by and why?
Always be trying new things, because I think that more so than any education, we are a sum of our exposures. And if you're not willing to try something new, that's one touch point you won't get an exposure to. And you may not hear some cool story somewhere sitting in a bar at the bottom of a mountain in the middle of nowhere, but that may change your whole thought process on life. Right. So I'm always open to trying something new, whether it's in woodwork, life, or wherever.
Nice. All right. So everyone, don't forget the Bouldrick Creative House. There's a launch tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern on the website. Yes. And I will have that in the follow-up notes as well. You have her Instagram links on the image that's in the video caption, or what do you call it, the thumbnail. So that'll also be in the follow-up notes as well. Follow us, of course, on YouTube. You should be watching on YouTube right now, or in our Facebook group, Herb Roots and Fruits. And then, of course, we reposted on the IGTV, the Biz Reality page. So with that, Ms. Domonique, thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you.
So much success and fun, and I'm looking forward to more conversations about creative and just sharing things I'm working on and watching you grow and you sharing more things and just like good.
We're gonna have fun on that next project because the chessboard is coming next.
Oh yeah,
That's what I'm gonna work on next. So yeah.
We've talked about a lot. Come on, get us right. Chess. Yeah. Oh, my dad's watching. Yeah. So awesome.
All right.
Well, oh, and also share if you want the slab guy.
Yes, my husband. He is a grill master of sorts. He grills ribs, steelhead trout. You can purchase them or just go and look at the pictures. It may change your mind. You might want to purchase them, but _slab guy. Look him up. And if you want some laughs, you can check out my godbrother at Barry S. Naylor. He's pretty funny. You gotta check him out.
He's a local comedian, or
yes, local comedian and TikTok TikTok million miler, I guess you would call it. But his last video got 1 million views.
I might need to talk to him because Clubhouse, they talk about TikTok a lot. I don't use TikTok. I don't know.
I don't do Clubhouse or Twitter. No, talking Twitter. It's too much. Okay.
Instagram is kind of where it's at least for me, in terms of like my day to day.
Me too.
It's so much. What do you want me to do? Can I just be? That's the thing. Can I just be creative, and then
that's it.
Figure it out. Yeah. I don't know. Well, again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I will be providing the follow-up notes, and I hope to see more coming out of the Bouldrick Creative House. And for everyone else, stay tuned. It's going to be lit. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.